Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council for April 18, 2019, to order at 8:03 p.m. Mayor on roll call, council members Balistrary.
Here.
Dombrowski.
Here.
Ingui.
Here.
Pellegrin.
Here.
Wetchler. Absent. Council President Golombek.
Here.
Mayor Caramagna.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Can everyone please rise for a prayer and flag salute? Oh God our Father, we ask you to bless our meeting, which we entrust to your fatherly care and protection. Please remove all selfishness and prejudice from our hearts and implant therein a keen sense of justice, a greater love for you and our neighbor. Guide us in our deliberations so that our decisions will always please you and bring you peace and happiness to our community. Amen. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Whereas Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of the State of New Jersey requires at the commencement of every meeting a statement of compliance be read by presiding officer. Now therefore be advised that the meeting requirements for this meeting have been met by publishing a special meeting notice in the Record and the Herald News, by posting such a notice in the office of the Borough Clerk, as well as a public place within the municipal building, and notifying interested citizens. Said notice was posted on January 7, 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, this meeting is being videotaped and will be on Cablevision, channel 77, on Mondays 3 p.m., Thursdays 11:30 a.m., on Fridays 10 a.m. The video will be also available at the borough website www.elmwoodparknj.us. Thank you.
Mayor, under the approval of minutes this evening, we have the January 3rd, 2019 reorganization meeting, January 17th, 2019 regular meeting, February 7th, 2019 work session meeting, and March 21st, 2019 regular meeting.
May I have a motion on the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
First
Call
by
the roll, please.
Pellegrin, second by Dombrowski. Council
Call the roll.
members Balistrary.
Yes.
Dombrowski.
Yes.
Ingui.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Wetchler. Absent. Council President Golombek.
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to item number 5 this evening, we have presentations beginning with the Elmwood Park Wrestlers.
Okay, at this time, we just wanted to recognize some of the wrestlers that had an outstanding season this year. We're going to start off with Zach Martinez. If you can please step to the podium.
Borough of Elmwood Park, Bergen County, New Jersey. Mayor certificate present to Zach Martinez.
Sure, I'll speak from here, Mayor. Zach, congratulations. I know Zach very well and his family. very, very nice young man, great family. I'll read some of Zach's wrestling stats. Zach was 28 wins, 11 losses this year. He was second place in the district, fifth in the county tournament, Garfield tournament champion, first team All NJIC Division II, and fourth place in the region. He is a state qualifier. That's an amazing accomplishment to just make it down to the states. And Zach, great season. I enjoy watching you wrestle. I'm a big fan of the sport, and I'm a fan of the Martinez family. He's a nice young man.
Get the next one, called Maria Taseva.
So I don't know Maria. I saw her wrestle down at the States. She's a tough competitor, that's for sure. She was 8-4 this year, third in the North region. She beat 3 boys during the season. There is a girls division though, so she did great in the girls division as well. She's a state qualifier, and she also took 5th in the state tournament this year. This was the first year that New Jersey had an all-girls state tournament. Maria, thank you for your commitment to the sport, and good luck in your future endeavors.
The next one, we have Natalie Vega.
Natalie, I don't know you either, but I saw you wrestle down at States as well, and you're very gritty and tough. Natalie was 11-4 this year, second place in the Bloomfield tournament, third in the region, also a state qualifier where she placed third, which is an outstanding accomplishment. Natalie, congratulations.
Last, not least, Nick Kyle.
Mayor, if you're one of the opponents, you got his name right. Trust me when I tell you that. So Nick, I know very well. I went to school with his dad and his mom. Very nice family, very nice young man. Great for the sport of wrestling. Nick, I'll read your accomplishments once I put my glasses back on. Nick is a 2-time district champ, 2-time region champ, Beast of the East champ, one of the toughest tournaments in the country, 2-time Doc Buchanan medalist, Powerade medalist, currently has 100 wins and still competing. He is 4th in the state this year, and he's a 3-time state medalist. I don't have to say any more. This kid's a champ.
Mayor, next for presentations, we have our Mike Marcal Fire respondents.
Wait, Councilman Dombrowski to come here.
Can the 4 chiefs please come forward? Captains as well.
With our greatest appreciations, we hereby recognize and thank Elmo Park Engine Company #1. Yes, Captain Tyler, you get the the plaque for their unwavering support and unrelenting guidance during the catastrophic Marcal fire, which so greatly affected the community of Elmo Park on the evening of January 30, 2019. We thank you for your selfless acts and tireless dedication. Thank you. Good luck. Again, I repeat myself, with our greatest appreciation, we hereby recognize and thank Emo Park, Ancient Company 2, and I guess we'll present to this young man here. He has, no one is tall, his name is taller than him. Chief Edward Maczewski. I'm sorry, there's a lot of Italian I can't say. Is it good enough? Okay. The rest will be the same. We appreciate your help. Thank you very much. You can have this. This goes to Emo Park, Ancient Company number 3. I guess we all know the chief. Chief, please take this here. Thank you again for all your help. Thank you.
Thanks. Good job.
Again, for the last beat.
That's okay.
So it's okay, you take it. Okay, this will be for Emo Park Truck Company number 4. And you take, thank you. Thank you.
Who's that, please?
Next one will be for the police. That's okay. With our greatest appreciation, we hereby recognize and thank Police Chief Mike Foligno and the members of the Emo Park Police Department. Thank you. Thank you.
Chief, do we have anybody on the road today?
My name's on the plaque, but these guys did the work. They deserve the applause. Great police department, hard workers. Thank you, guys.
This will be for the ambulance. Is anybody here?
Yes.
Yes, Dan Carone.
Assistant Chief.
Pete Pies is in here? Okay. Anyhow, thank you. I don't want to repeat the same things again, but thank you guys for what you did for the fire. Thank you for the help. Say thank you to all of them. Okay, the names are there. The last, let's not forget,
Sandy.
DPW, Scott Cars,
Thanks, Dan.
Sandy. Scott, great work. Thank you, Scott, for all the work you did. Okay. Yeah, someone finished, maybe I should guess. Thank you.
So we got another one.
Mayor, is it possible that we can have 5
Yes,
seconds
please,
for a
sir.
council comments?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Want to go?
Sure.
Anyone
I
want to
guess
start?
I'll start. I want to congratulate the wrestlers on an outstanding season. Nikki Kale, I've been watching your career through your mother's Facebook for many years, and I waited for this day to recognize you, and I'm so happy that you're here. For the Elmwood Park students, always proud of you guys. Extremely proud that there's 2 women wrestling. Love it. Good luck next season. I look forward to coming to the matches. And as far as Markel, we've kind of said it all already, but without the people standing in this room, things could have been much worse. So I thank you and all for everything you do.
Thank you. So, first of all, I would like to thank our Councilwoman Denise Ingwe for actually initiating the honoring of our wrestlers. And I'd also like to comment and say that I congratulate this mayor and council for adding students that live in Elmwood Park but may not go to Elmwood Park. They are still Elmwood Park wrestlers, and we're so proud of all of them. As Denise mentioned, having 2 young ladies qualify, and what the chief said about all your wins, it's amazing. And I congratulate you. I congratulate Nick. I congratulate Maria, Zachary, and Natalie. I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. So congratulations.
I'd also like to congratulate all the wrestlers. You worked so hard to achieve all your goals. As a community, we are all very proud of you, and we wish you continued success in your future. And we want to thank all the coaches and your families for always being there to guide you and to support you. And also to our first responders and the Superintendent of Public Works, thank you. To me, you really all are heroes. You risked your own lives to protect our community. The Markel fire was devastating, but there was a miracle in that night, and that was that no one was injured. The fire could have spread throughout the town, but because of your experience, your professionalism, and your perseverance, you kept our community safe. Thank you all for what you do. You protect our community on a daily basis. I am forever grateful to all of you. Thank you.
Okay, I'd first like to congratulate Maria, Natalie, Zach, and Nick on your impressive achievements in wrestling. You should be so very proud of yourselves. And also thank you to Coach Mulligan for your hard work with these young wrestlers. To our Markel fire responders and the DPW, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Elmwood Park is very blessed to have each and every one of you all put your life on the line each and every day to protect and serve our community. Although this was a devastating fire, I thank God no one was hurt. That's because of strong leadership to make split-second decisions. Thank you, and be safe always.
Thank you.
To our wrestlers, congratulations. Every time you place, every time you do well, every time you're in the paper, you're putting Elmwood Park on the map, and you're reflecting well on Elmwood Park. So thank you, and good luck. And to our first responders, everyone we honor tonight, it's all been said. On behalf of our residents, we're forever grateful. Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor, can I say one more thing? I didn't forget to say this. I was going to wait till last, but I figured let me say it before the mayor says it. As far as the Markel fire goes, I am so proud of our fire department. Everybody, the way that they handled themselves, our police department, our ambulance, our DPW. If it wasn't for Scott Cars, we would have had no water for that fire. They train for this. They train for disasters like this. And in my council report tonight, you're going to hear how many hours they put in just this month. I'll say it right now. They put 212 hours of training hours in just this month. But you can't train for what happened. You really can't train enough for what happened. The response was fantastic. The direction that was given was fantastic. I commend every one of the departments, and again, I thank you all for being dedicated to this community. Our ambulance corps spent hours on call. Our police department, hours on call. And of course, our firefighters, many, many, many hours on call. And the DPW was there to support in every which way. Again, we have a community of professionals that are dedicated, and please, when you see them and they're asking for a donation, don't hesitate to give it to them. Please, thank you.
Thank you. Judge, any comments?
Well, usually the attorney doesn't make any comments unless he's asked to give an opinion.
Were you asked?
In this case, I am asked to make a comment by the mayor. and I am going to take this opportunity to make the comment. Let me say to all of you that received this plaque from this body, plaques are plaques. Words are just mere words. And plaques only have some significance. But the heart, the love, the dedication, and the effort that everyone put in this particular fire that occurred here is something which cannot be put on a wall. It cannot be put on any newspaper. It can only be carried in every one of our hearts. No one else can make any distinction. No one can give you any kind of honor, and there is no honor, more than what is in your hearts and what's in the hearts of this council. And I can tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, you have the most finest fire department, the most greatest DPW work, and the ambulance corps in this town. And I tell you, you have to be proud, because the work that was done by these people, the dedication, there is no words to describe it. None. And I commend you, and I will always remember what happened to Elmwood Park, and it will always be in my heart, and my heart will always be with you guys out there. For the wrestlers, just like Captain,
Chief.
Used to be captain anyway,
Chief.
one time, but Chief Foligno, I was also a wrestler in Garfield High School. I wrestled, I played soccer, various sports. Let me tell you something. That is an amazing task. It is a wonderful sport, and I'm very proud. I'm proud of you for the two women, the young ladies that are participating, which is the greatest thing that could happen in this community. And being a resident of this town, I'm proud. And I'm proud of you, and I hope your family is, and I'm proud of your family too. So congratulations again, and God bless all of you. Thank you.
Well, I have 6 sisters, and my wrestling was wrestle them to get to the first edition pasta. So, anyhow, congratulations, guys. And there are no words to describe all the work, the fire department, DPW, the ambulance, etc. And you're really great. As everybody say a lot of words, you need to say a lot of words, few words. Thank you. Thank you for keeping this town safe. Thank you. I'm done. Anybody else? Any other comments?
Mayor, next for presentations, we have the presentation of detective badges.
I'd like to call up Captain Mark D. Moore. Captain D. Moore is in charge of the Detective Bureau. These officers will be working directly under his command.
Chief.
Yes? Mayor? You go by copy. The officers that are being presented with their detective badges tonight are Officer Randy Dorallo and Keith Hartman. These individuals have been on the force for 10 years. They put in their time, they paid their dues. We have a process where we interview officers, we take resumes, we look at their work product. They have to be self-motivated, they have to require a little supervision, and they have to be team players, amongst other things. And these two guys fit that bill, along with the majority of these officers. But we have to pick someone. Most people are worthy. It just happens to be their night and their time. So guys, come on up. And of course, you guys. Got your hand set?
Might still stay there. You should stay there.
Next on the agenda, we have a special resolution, Resolution R-141-19, appoint police officer. Israel Castro. Be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that the following names be and is hereby appointed as a police officer in the Police Department of the Borough of Elmwood Park, Israel Castro. Be it further resolved that remuneration is set at the rate as per the 2018 to 2025 PBA contract effective March 15th, 2018.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
First by Pellegrin, second by Dombrowski. Council members Ballasteri,
Recuse, because I have a family member that works for the police department.
Dombrowski,
Yes.
Ingui,
I have to recuse because I have a family member who works for the police department.
Pellegrin,
Yes.
Wetchler, absent. Council President Golubek.
Yes.
Motion carries. Will Officer Castro please come up to the dais alongside his family to be sworn in?
Please repeat after me. I state your name. I, Israel Castro. Do solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey. That I will bear faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state. Under the authority of the people. And I will faithfully, impartially, and perform all the duties of the officer, police officer, according to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations, stay safe.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now take a brief break, reconvening in 5 minutes' time. But before everyone leaves, if all of the first responders can please come up and take a picture with our mayor and council. Thank you.
What's that?
I'm taking a picture.
Oh. Do,
Comments later.
okay.
Mayor, it is now 8:38. We will continue on with the rest of our meeting agenda. Moving on to item number 7, which is the introduction to the 2019 municipal budget. We have 2 housekeeping resolutions before we get to the actual introduction. Resolution R-142-19, introduced ordinance number 19-08 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance to Exceed the Municipal Budget Appropriation Limits and to Establish a Cap Bank" be passed and adopted on first reading, and be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, May 16, 2019, at 8 p.m., or as soon thereafter as same can be heard, at which time any persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it resolved that the acting borough clerk be and she is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
I guess, may,
May I have a motion?
yes, may I have a motion, please, for the resolution?
Second.
First, Pellegrin, second, Dombrowski. Council members Balistrary,
Yes.
Dombrowski,
Yes.
Ingui,
Yes.
Pellegrin. Yes. Wetchler, absent. Council President Golubek.
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to Resolution R-143-19, Resolution for Self-Examination of the 2019 Municipal Budget.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
First by Dombrowski, second by Council President Golubek. On roll call, Council members Balistrary.
Yes.
Dombrowski.
Yes.
Ingui.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Wetchler, absent. Council President Golubek.
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to Resolution R-144-19, Introduction of the 2019 Municipal Budget. Be it resolved that the following statements of revenues and appropriations shall constitute the municipal budget for the fiscal year 2019, and be it further resolved that said budget be published in the Record and Herald News in the issue of April 25th, 2019, and be it further resolved that the governing body of the Borough of Elmwood Park does hereby approve the following as the budget for the year 2019, revenue and appropriation summaries as attached.
May I have a motion on the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
First by Ingui, second by Pellegrin. Council members Balistrary,
Yes.
Dombrowski,
Yes.
Ingui,
Yes.
Pellegrin,
Yes.
Wetchler, absent. Council President Golubek.
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, here with us this evening is Borough CFO Roy Rigatano, who will provide a brief summary for the council and public.
Thank you. Good afternoon, good evening. This year's budget was a little different than in the past. We're doing this very late. No result of the council, but for the public's knowledge, we were attacked through a cyber attack back in December, in which all financial records were lost to another country via computer hack. It took us roughly 3 months to rebuild the system. The system was rebuilt. Once it was rebuilt, we were then able to proceed with the annual debt statement and annual financial statement. It was at that time that I met with the council on numerous occasions, including Dan Golubek, the finance chair, and the rest of the council, obviously one-on-one, one-on-two, so we didn't break the sunshine law. With that being said, this budget is absolutely in great shape. There are some items we will talk at the public hearing, but for the knowledge of the public, you need to know there will be some rather large one-time expenses, which will include the Markel fire and the computer hack itself. With that, I'd like to have, I guess, our finance chair, any other words you'd like to say as I move on?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Rigatano, and I appreciate your hard work on this, given the rough hand that we were dealt through the cyber attack. This is the introduction of the budget, so the budget would be adopted at the May public meeting. So it's always possible that there will be modifications in the coming weeks if council members so desire. But kind of really 3 highlights at this point, and at that point in May, we'll dive deeper into it, and we'll have a public hearing for the residents to ask questions. The tax levy is going down $5,755. Total spending is going down $771,000. The municipal budget, the municipal part of your taxes on a house assessed at $330,115 will be going down $3 for 2019. Will be going down $3 for 2019. This is remarkable that we're able to accomplish this in these tough economic climates, and in May we'll delve more into those numbers, but we're doing so very responsibly and with a mindset towards the future. So I thank the rest of the council for their input in this process, and our CFO and our borough administrator for their hard work with the department heads, and I look forward to diving deeper into this budget at the May adoption. Thank you.
else from the council like to have a discussion in regards to the budget?
Yes, I would like to, please. First of all, for the people here in this room, I'm going to ask Mr. Riccatano one question. I know we're supposed to do this at the next meeting, but how does our budget look for the future? By us going zero doesn't hurt us. How is it going forward for us for the future?
This year, the zero is not going to hurt the taxpayer for the future. I'm here over 22 years now. We've had these in the past. Normally, council doesn't prefer the zero, but this year with the extenuating circumstance, with the one-time hits, and they are appreciable. The Markel fire, in excess of $160,000, $115,000 additional for the operating expense of Markel. The computer hack of $75,000, one-time expense. All of these are going to be offset within the year, which will hopefully build back the surplus for next year. I do have confirmation, which through the borough attorney, I can't go into detail with the public, but we will be in good financial shape next year as well.
Outstanding. Thank you very much. And just lastly, I'd like to thank you, actually, not congratulate you, but thank you, Mr. Wolkotz, and our council president, who is also our finance chair, for bringing a zero tax increase to the borough this year. I know you guys worked very closely together, very hard, and you really worked very well for our residents. And again, I thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Okay, thank you for joining us this evening, Mr. Rigatano.
Good evening,
Thanks,
everyone.
Roy.
Thank you, Roy.
That was the greatest news you could have given us.
Okay, Mayor, we'll continue on with ordinances, beginning with those that we will introduce on first reading, starting with ordinance resolution R-145-19, introduced ordinance number 19-09 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled Capital Ordinance of the Borough of Elmwood Park in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, authorizing the installation of ADA accessible playground equipment at Cherry Hill Park in, by, and for the borough, appropriating therefore the sum of $308,350, and providing that such sum so appropriated shall be raised from a county grant and from the Borough Recreation Trust Fund, be passed and adopted on first reading, and be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, May 16, 2019 at 8 p.m., or as soon thereafter as same can be heard, at which time any persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it resolved that the acting borough clerk be, and she is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
I have a motion to introduce this ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
First by Dombrowski, second by Ingwe.
Call the roll, please.
Council members Ballasteri?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Ingwe?
Yes.
Pellegrin?
Yes.
Wetchler? Absent. Council President Golubek?
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to ordinances being introduced on second reading. Resolution R-146-19. Introduced ordinance number 19-07 on second reading. Bond ordinance to authorize the rehabilitation of Veterans Memorial Park in, by, and for the Borough of Elmwood Park in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $180,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
Okay, may I have a motion to open to the public?
So moved.
Second.
First by Pellegrin, second by Ballasteri.
Okay, anyone from the public like to come up and speak on this ordinance alone? No one, so I close the public portion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay,
First by Dombrowski, second by Ingwe. Whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled Bond Ordinance to authorize the rehabilitation of Veterans Memorial Park in, by, and for the Borough of Elmwood Park in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $180,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. And whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, April 4th, 2019, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled Bond Ordinance to Authorize the Rehabilitation of Veterans Memorial Park in by and for the Borough of Elmwood Park in the County of Bergen, New Jersey to appropriate the sum of $180,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds, to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds pass on final reading.
May I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
So moved.
First
Second.
Pellegrin, second Dombrowski.
Call the roll, please.
Council members Ballastreary?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Ingui?
Yes.
Pellegrin?
Yes.
Wetchler, absent. Council President Golubek?
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to the consent agenda, we have Resolution R-147-19, establish 2019 temporary capital budget. R-148-19, approval of payroll. R-149-19, approval of bills list. R-150-19, authorize current estimate number 1, 2018 road program for Cleanup, Inc. R-151-19, approved proposal for design services for Veterans Park Improvements, Alimo Group. R-152-19, authorize emergency repair services, Pumping Services, Inc. R-153-19, authorize vacation buyback. R-154-19, establish access for all committee. R-155-19, establish Green Team Advisory Committee. R-156-19, authorize execution of trust fund project contract, Bergen County Open Space. R-157-19, authorize execution of service contract for Borough Planner Topology. R-158-19, accept sidebar to collective negotiations agreement, white collar/blue collar. R-159-19, authorize tax exemption for disabled veteran. R-160-19, Bergen County American Legion Centennial Recognition. R-161-19, acknowledge the acquisition of Professional Insurance Associates, Inc. and PIA Security Programs, Inc. in accordance with the public contract for insurance consulting services for 2019. R-162-19, support the 2019 You Drive, You Text, You Pay distracted driving crackdown, April 1st through the 21st of 2019. R-163-19, authorize the use of the all-purpose room, Elmwood Meadows Condominium Association. R-164-19, appointment of junior firefighter Alexian Cruz, Company Number 2. R-165-19, appointment of junior firefighter Christian Rosario, Company Number 2. R-166-19, appointment of junior firefighter Inderpreet Singh, Company Number 1.
The numbers of the...
I had reprinted the agenda, so the ones in the public are accurate.
So the ones in the, okay, as long as...
Yes. R-167-19, appointment of firefighter Ronald Kanisi, Company Number 1. R-168-19, expulsion of firefighter Mohammed Jamhor, Company Number 2. R-169-19, appoint part-time fire inspector, Fire Prevention Bureau. R-170-19, appoint part-time fire inspector, Fire Prevention Bureau. R-171-19, appoint ASP counselor, Dorothy Surgett, Recreation Department. R-172-19, authorize recreation membership refund. R-173-19, accept sidebar to collective negotiations agreement, PBA Local 185. R-174-19, corrective resolution, promotion to sergeant, Coaches. R-175-19, corrective resolution, promotion to sergeant, Sinkowski. R-176-19, authorizing additional funding, Special Legal Counsel, Police Department. R-177-19, authorized change of status, Police Department. R-178-19, approving consent agenda.
May I have a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
First by Dombrowski, second by Pellegrin.
Call the roll.
Council members Ballastreary?
Yes on everything except I recuse on R-161-19 and R-172 through R-176-19.
Council,
Excuse me.
No,
Um,
recuse.
Some of the numbers that you have to use the new agenda,
Yes.
not the
thought
big
that's
agenda,
what I had.
because some of the numbers have changed.
There was an add-on.
It was an add-on.
it was left at your
First one.
seat prior to the meeting.
Yes. Unfortunately, I didn't change it.
Okay.
My fault. My fault.
Base is 173.
And it was the new one.
Okay. There's something else.
Sandy, they just moved down one.
Stay for it.
What was it?
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she's great. You got it?
Okay. So then we got R-173. Oh, you texted
Thank you.
170. Next to that, you distracted driving? 162. Okay. So 162, 19. Okay. Okay, let me go back, sorry. Okay, recuse on R-162, 19. And abstain, okay.
So you're abstaining on R-162?
19, and also R-173 through R-178, 19.
177.
I abstain on those as well. Oh, no, 177. I keep going back and forth with both of these.
Thank you. Councilmember Dombrowski?
Yes to everything.
Ingui?
Yes to all, except I will abstain on R-148-19, abstain on 162-19, abstain on 173-19 through 177-19.
Thank you. Pellegrin?
Yes.
Wetchler? Absent. Council President Golubek?
Yes.
Motion carries. Last on my agenda, we have for departmental reports, Library Board Minutes, November 19, 2018, Library Board Minutes, January 28, 2019, Library Board Minutes, February 25, 2019. Mayor, may I have a motion to accept and file?
So moved.
Second.
First by Dombrowski, second by Pellegrin. Council members Balistrary?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Ingui?
Yes.
Pellegrin?
Yes.
Wetchler absent. Council President Golubek?
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, this concludes my portion of the meeting this evening.
Thank you. I have a council report. Who wants to start? Anyone?
I will.
Who's ready?
I'll go.
Mr.
All right.
Dombrowski, go ahead.
First of all, I'd like to send out my condolences to my council colleague Doris Weckler and her family. Doris had lost her brother and sister within the matter of a couple of days just this week. So my heart goes out to her and her family, and I just wish them peace. Again, I'd like to congratulate the 4 wrestlers that we had tonight, as well as our 2 detectives, Randy and Keith. I'd also like to welcome again our police officer, Israel Castro. I pray that he stays safe and healthy through his career here in Elmwood Park. I would like to personally thank this mayor and council and the PTO moms, Jennifer Solicito, Tanisha Dennis, Shar Pressler, and Nika Milligan for supporting the Rescue Mania wrestling event we had a few weeks ago. And a special thank you to our fire official, Steve Kochik, for his countless hours that he put into the WrestleMania, and thank you so much for that. Again, I would like to thank our mayor and council, but especially our council president, Dan Golubek, who was our finance chair, Roy Rigatano and Steve Wilcox, for maintaining a budget with a 0 tax increase this year. That's an amazing feat. My fire report, ladies and gentlemen, as of yesterday, April 17th, our fire department has responded to 184 calls throughout the year. We're 107 days into the new year, so you could tell that they're doing at least more than one call per day. For the month of March, our fire department responded to 48 calls, totaling approximately 437 manned hours. The fire department members trained, as I said earlier, we train an awful lot. Our fire department trained for a total of 212 manned hours for the month as well. Ladies and gentlemen, our fire prevention is getting a lot of phone calls about fire pits, chimeneas, burning of wood, and so on and so forth. It is allowed under our ordinance. However, no person is allowed to burn anything other than firewood. You cannot put pallets, you can't put carpenter's wood or any of that kind of product into your chimeneas. And they must have a grate that goes over the top so that it prevents the sparks from going out. Now, as I said, these are all legal. However, if your neighbor calls in and says it's a nuisance, you will be asked to stop. So please be considerate of your neighbors when you're doing this. Don't burn anything that's not allowed. Just remember, just firewood. And if you have any questions, feel free to call our Fire Prevention Bureau. They'd be more than happy to discuss it with you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Sure.
Mr. Green?
Okay, so I just want to congratulate Officer Garillo and Hartman on a very well-deserved promotion. The two of them have definitely earned the respect of their fellow officers and the community, and I just hope that they stay safe. If Israel Castro was still here, I would tell him that he joined one of the best police departments out there, and yes, I'm probably a little biased, but these men and women under the supervision of their chief are doing a phenomenal job in our community, and I wish him the best of luck and to also stay safe. I want to thank Roy, Steve, and Dan for their hard work on the budget. I know the residents appreciate your efforts in giving them this well-deserved break, and I know that Roy put in countless hours, so I thank you guys for that. As far as my ambulance report, we do have a new assistant chief. His name is Dan Carone. He gave me a report that in February, EP-VAC answered 80 calls, and in the month of March, they answered 92 calls. We discussed back in January doing the meet and greet, and it is set for Saturday, May 18th from 11 to 4. The event will be held at the Ambulance Corps building, and in the case of inclement weather, we'll have it inside. It'll be a barbecue-style food, tours of the building and the ambulance, blood pressure screenings, equipment demonstrations, face paintings, God bless you, and games weather permitting. And of course, the meeting for Alamo Park EP-VAC. So we are trying to recruit some members of all ages, and we hope to that some people come out to the meet and greet. The next monthly meeting is Wednesday, May 8th at 8 p.m. And they have invited the mayor and whatever council members would like to join me there for that next meeting. So with all that, progress.
Thank you. Mr. Green?
Good evening, everyone. My Board of Health update. The rabies clinic will be Wednesday, May 15th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Firehouse Number 4 on Mola Boulevard. Their next meeting is Monday, May 13th at 7 p.m. The police update. The police meet and greet will be Thursday, April 25th from 7 to 9 p.m. right here in the courtroom. There will be valuable safety information shared, and there will also be a live demonstration of our firearms training simulator. Come out and get to speak to our police officers, ask questions, learn important tips on how to keep yourself safe, your family, and your property. Our local PBA 185 will be having a beefsteak dinner on May 18th at 7 p.m. at the American Legion in Elmwood Park. Tickets are $60 per person. For more information and to purchase tickets, please call Detective Randy Garillo at 201-796-1457, extension 119. Our Junior Police Academy applications are now out. Ages 10 to 13 will go from July 15th through July 19th. Ages 14 to 16th, July 22nd through July 26th. All applications must be completed and returned to the Elmwood Park Police Headquarters by May 1st. You can pick up one at the police department or go to our borough website to download one. Any questions you may have, please contact Detective Chris Liptak at 201-796-0700, extension 118. And I'd also like to congratulate Detective Randy Garillo and Detective Keith Harmon. Well deserved. They work really hard. They're very respected in the police department, and I was happy to see them get their badges tonight. Also, we welcome Officer Israel Castro. We wish him much success here in Elmwood Park, and always stay safe. Progress, Mayor.
Thank you.
Okay, first I'd like to congratulate both our detectives on their well-deserved badge. Thank you for all you do for our community. Congratulations also to Officer Castro. Welcome to EP. You are joining a fabulous police department. I wish you much success here and stay safe. Our DPW men are continually filling potholes as needed. The yard waste pickup began April 1st. Recreation, basketball season is over and awards dinner is taking place Monday, April 15th. The crew soccer team spring season has started. There are 7 teams enrolled in this league. Our Easter egg hunt was a success. Many children, they had a great time. Luckily, the weather did hold out for them. Street hockey program will begin on April 24th and run for 10 weeks. Field permits, all spring field permits have been issued. And Elmwood Park Community Day will take place on June 1st from 11 to 3. And also, I also want to say that my heart and condolences go out to my colleague and my good friend, Councilwoman Wexler, during this difficult time. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I too want to pass along my condolences to our colleague. Tragic to lose a sibling, but 2 in 1 week is unspeakable. Congratulations to our 2 new detectives, Detectives Garillo and Hartman, our new officer. We certainly wish them the best. 3 updates tonight. As you can see in the agenda, we established 2 committees tonight, with not the appointments yet, but the foundation for the committees. The first of which is the Access for All Committee that I have spoken about in the past. Some months ago, Rutherford Council President Stephanie McGowan was in our work session, kind of outlining this concept and what it has done in their community in Rutherford, and the possibilities. In 2 sentences or 3 sentences, it's basically a committee that focuses on taking our disabled population, people with special needs, and adding them into every equation of what we do in Elmwood Park, whether it comes to events, building parks, any type of infrastructure that we build, that we keep that segment of the population, a precious segment of the population, always in our mind, so that we build events around them and their needs. We have interested members already who are, kind of recruiting people to take on this effort. So at next month's meeting, we'll be filling out this committee. It is, as the resolution states, there's a council liaison and 5 members from the community. Obviously, we would never, want to cut anyone out of the process, so this is a big open tent, a big tent process, and we look forward to kicking that off. The second committee that we started is the Green Team Advisory Committee. This is a concept that is throughout New Jersey, and Elmwood Park is probably one of the last to get onto this concept. Green Team is again, a committee of up to 10 community members that can be elected officials, can be just residents, whatever, that really have the focus of promoting green energy, sustainability, energy efficiency, and generally pro-environment policies for both the government level and the town as a whole. Just this year, we've started baby steps in really, approaching things with green energy mindset. I know last week we had a presentation from a gentleman who had showed us that we can save money by switching light bulbs, much more energy efficient light bulbs in our facilities here in town. I know we've had preliminary discussions into looking into, could we save money if we went to solar energy for certain parts of our municipal buildings and everything. And we're actually, with the blessing of the council, going to be launching a project in the coming weeks that I think will beautify Elmwood Park and really move that pro-environment effort forward, called 222 new trees by 2022. It's an ambitious goal of getting 222 new trees planted in this town over the course of the next 4 or so years. We live in a world today where, through natural disaster or through insurance companies or just the fear of something happening to property, we have trees cut down left and right, and each one of us has had one on our street. We notice it. Our street looks naked, it bothers us, and then we just go on with our lives, and our town becomes a little less green and a little less beautiful. The idea is to take the municipality, take the schools, the government end, take the private businesses, we have multi-million-dollar companies in this town, and bring in private residents, all kind of collaboratively, to plant trees where it makes sense and where it doesn't damage, electricity and cause more problems than it creates. It's efficient. Shade brings down emissions from cars, brings down emissions from homes, but it adds beauty to our town. There is something about communities in Bergen County and all around. There's a common denominator, and that's how much nature and how much green there is. So this is an ambitious plan we're starting. kind of my goal is to spread this to many other communities. I know that Garfield will be launching something very similar in the coming weeks, and I'll be working with other communities who are interested in these types of concepts, so we can all kind of move together in this direction. There's a lot of money out there, and if we're ever going to bring down taxes, if we're ever going to save money on energy, it's going to be by embracing these types of concepts. So I'm looking forward to it. The Green Team Committee is something that I hope we will fill out in the next month, and I thank my colleagues for being supportive of this at the last work session, and it's something that I'm excited about, and, I'm looking forward to seeing the fruit of it in the coming years. And just one last update. The planner we had brought on last year is nearing the end of their study of two key areas of our town, Market Street and Broadway. They had given a presentation to the council, an update, a few work sessions ago. We should see some kind of final product in mid-May. But we're constantly working and looking for opportunities to make our business districts look better. Just this morning, we were on a conference call with our grant writer from Millennium about a grant that can only apply to one census tract in Elmwood Park, Census Tract 111, which kind of encompasses all of Broadway. And there's going to be 20 awards, about 120, 150,000 that can go towards rehabilitating properties, can go towards studies of the area, can go towards code enforcement, a lot of different things. And this is, once you get this award, it's money that kind of keeps filtering in if you have a good plan. I guess the point of what I'm saying is, we're working on these things. This is not going to happen overnight, but every opportunity that we get to make our Broadway area, our Market Street area, better, we're going to take full advantage of it, and we're going to work as hard as we can to make it successful. So I look forward to all those things. Again, the budget, there will be more to come, but I thank my colleagues for their support through this process. It's really our professionals that do the grunt of the work. We set objectives, we set expectations, and they try to deliver. And they did deliver, and they did so in a very responsible manner. So I thank them for that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you, guys, council people. Thank you for your reports. I'm very proud of you. Really good job. Continue working for the progress of a town. Chief, you have anything to say?
Do, Mayor, if I may.
Yeah.
I just would like to make the public aware that the borough has reestablished an email address. It's called epconcerns@elmwoodpark.nj.us, epconcerns@elmwoodpark.nj.us. That's for our citizens to report anything that they see that needs repair or concerns, complaints, any questions. Let me preface this by saying it's not for emergency reporting. If you have an emergency, call 911, call the police desk, or call whatever department that you need help from. This is not an emergency email address. It's for concerns, questions, anything of that nature. And we had this at one point, but it got lost in the administration change. We just have reestablished it effective today. It will be monitored by borough administration, and the concerns will be addressed as soon as practical and possible. Please share that. We're going to get a flyer out on social media and on the borough website to announce this, and I just wanted to make everyone aware of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, I want to wish everyone a happy Easter. May God bless all of you. God bless Elmwood Park, New Jersey. Thank you. Okay, I guess may I have a motion to open the floor for public comments?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mike.
Okay, if anyone from the public wish to say or speak about anything, come up here, state the name and address.
Yeah, it's a little chilly in here now.
Mayor Council, Maggie Jandomenico, 41 Showbot Lane. I have a question in regards to two resolutions. The first one would be 158-19, the sidebar to the white collar contract. I'm not sure what's this question. What is the sidebar for?
Chief answer.
Which one are you talking about? I
The white
apologize.
collar.
White collar? That is to address two departments in the borough that we identified that employees are doing additional jobs and responsibilities. So some individuals were coming forward and looking for compensation. What the mayor and council decided to do was to address those departments, not the individuals, and to give an increment, an increase for those specific duties and responsibilities, and to make it part of the collective bargaining agreement.
When would you do a sidebar? If you just change people's salary?
A sidebar is an addendum to a contract, so it's not necessarily opening up the contract, it's a legal way of making an adjustment to a contract.
Adding salaries or individuals to a contract. That's what a sidebar would serve for, right?
Yes.
So you guys are doing a sidebar for this, but last meeting, you put two employees, a keyboarding clerk from the building department full-time, and then you moved the mayor's secretary from being a confidential mayor's secretary to keyboarding clerk, following the salaries in the contract. So are they given the same benefits that everybody else is through the contract?
That's a question for the borough attorney or the mayor and council.
I don't think everybody that's.
I mean, by virtue of the position change, they would go under the white-collar contract.
Right.
Why wouldn't you do a sidebar? You guys didn't do a sidebar and negotiate with the white-collar union to put them in the contract? Because we did a whole negotiation with them to take Pat out of it because the mayor wanted his secretary to be confidential and out of the contract, which is why she was made a secretary. Now you're putting two people into the contract. So wouldn't you need to do a sidebar for that? Because they're starting with the 33,000, but in our contract that we negotiated with white collar last year, every year they get an increase of $1,650 to their base salary. So within 2 years, they're getting an additional $3,600. So wouldn't you need to put them in the contract? Because our contract lists the employees that the contract is applicable to and their position. So why wasn't a sidebar done last meeting? I guess that would be a legal question.
Yep, a legal question.
Not sure.
I'm not. I'm not in a position at this time to answer that question without looking into it. But it would seem to me that the sidebar is an amendment to a contract which has been negotiated.
Right.
Versus an individual who is not part of that contract.
You guys just said you put the two people in the contract by following the steps in it.
By giving them the position, they're putting them into the white collar contract because of the increase of their duties, which fall into a white collar.
Right, which goes contrary to what you just said with your first statement, that you need to open
No,
up a
I'm not.
sidebar.
I'm
So
not-
that's what I'm
You can
confused
do it
about.
both ways. In certain instances, you can do it as a sidebar, or you can turn around and do it as a resolution and change of position.
Okay, so those two people were put into the white collar contract by the mayor and council without negotiations with the white collar union or opening up the contract, correct?
It can be done.
But that's how it was done, because the contract wasn't ratified to add their names or their positions to it.
The
So it was done by the
contract is
mayor and
not
council, not the
ratified.
white collar
The
union.
contract exists. The positions were the individual put into the contract to be part of that contract.
So my second question is, on Resolution 185, when it comes to the PBA negotiations, and I got the backup, and Aaron, I'd like to thank you for all your diligence with my over requests and sending me all the work sessions, so on and so forth. I appreciate everything. So my question is about Resolution 185, the PBA agreement. The backup states that it's giving.
173.
Maggie, there is no
173.
185.
You're looking at
Sorry.
local
I'm looking-
185.
so- Okay.
You're looking at local 185.
I looked at, all right, so that resolution number. So it gave the chief the authority to negotiate with the PBA. Through the virtue of the chief's contract, doesn't he benefit from whatever the PBA negotiates?
Did you see what they were given?
I did, that wasn't the question though, but that
There's
gave
no
you
monetary
permission.
value, It's a benefit to the borough and residents for crime prevention and crime fighting, and their hours were modified, and the PBA agreed to it. And I'm the borough administrator as well as the police chief. So if you read the ordinance, by the council's authority, I can negotiate that.
I never questioned the point of it,
Okay.
just so it's clear, because
I'm
you're
just
starting
making it clear
answering
to
that
everyone
question.
because you're asking it in public, so I want
But
everyone to
that's not what I
understand.
asked. I asked that this gave the police chief / administrator the authority to negotiate with the PBA
On that point,
on that point.
on that point.
So wouldn't you be setting, since the police chief, virtue of his contract, benefits from the PBA, whatever they settle on their end?
I'm not in the PBA contract.
I know, you have your own contract. I know,
Right.
They're two separate contracts,
right,
and it's hours of work.
Right.
right. But wouldn't it set a precedent that it would allow you to negotiate the PBA contract down the line?
No, absolutely not. We would not allow the chief to discuss any kind of monetary with the PBA. What we did is we changed hours so that, as the chief mentioned,
I understand what
Well,
happened. It's just the
I-
person who negotiated.
but the point is that this is his vision, and he wanted his police officers to do it. However, he couldn't do it unless we gave him the authority to do it. So we gave him the authority to do that specific thing. That's it. Doesn't give him the powers to go down there tomorrow and say, hey, I'm going to give you a $5,000 raise. Does not give him that.
So
If I could just add, I mean, we work very collaboratively with our police chief and BA. It's not like we're, but if I may, it's not like we're giving free rein and say, without any kind of idea what's going on. We're on the same page on these issues. So, however you want to dissect it, there is a mutual understanding of what the vision is and kind of an embrace of the vision.
So any future negotiations by the police chief / BA would be at the council's discretion, what he can and cannot negotiate?
I think those are fact-sensitive situations. I don't think they come up that often. We have a 7 or 8 year deal, so I think each time that comes up, there always will be conversations between administration and the governing body.
Right, at the mayor's council's discretion, right? That's it, thank you.
Anyone else?
Jeffrey Freitag, 35 Hillman Drive. I have 2 questions concerning roadways and things like that. At the last work meeting, a gentleman at the meeting had asked about whether or not, and I think this was referring to 54th Street and the curb cuts for the handicap ramps that cross at intersections, as to whether or not the ones that were already done, whether or not they had to be redone. And I think you were going to get some sort of answer from the engineer about that. Just at the last work meeting.
Mr. Freitag, I thought I answered that at the work meeting. The ADA law is when the ramps were first put in, at that time they did meet ADA qualifications. The new law has changed. They need to put those. First of all, the grade that, as far as it's going down, has to be a smaller grade for people who are in wheelchairs. And then it also has to include that touch pad, that red pad for people who walk with the cane. So anytime you can, believe it or not, next year they can change the ADA code, and if we were to pave 54th Street again, by law we have to change those ramps. It's not our choice, it's the law that we must follow. So to answer your question, yes, those ramps, when they were first put in, met ADA code. Now that we're paving the street again, we now have to change it. And that's going to happen everywhere. You saw it happen on the boulevard. You're going to see it happen in the areas. I know on Washington Avenue, we're paving that, and they had to put in the new ADA ramps. So you're going to see that happening more and more.
Now, in areas where there are no sidewalks, such as 54th Street by the tract of land there, what about that?
I got to be honest with you, I don't have that answer. I don't have that answer.
I can answer.
Go ahead.
You have a situation that ADA requires the ramps anytime there is accessibility to sidewalks, buildings, and so forth.
So it's just.
Where there is no sidewalks, it would make totally no sense at all to have any kind of ramp created because it's it's a ramp going nowhere. So basically, there's a lot of issue with that in the Cherry Hill section. If I'm sure you're familiar with it, there's no sidewalks there at all. So basically, any handicapped individual will have to go on the streets. But I'm sure that at one time or another in the future, I'm sure the ADA is going to get onto it, and they're going to start requiring potentially sidewalks. And going back to Councilman Dombrowski's point with regards to the changes, the ADA regulations continue to change almost on a monthly basis.
Very true.
Because every situation that occurs, whether it be down South Jersey, whether it be in California, and it's a federal statute, it's a federal regulation. And anytime something happens, they just broad stroke the whole thing. At times, I can tell you that I was aware of an issue in '86 when this whole issue of the ADA started developing. Ramps were just basic little ramps just to get you off from the road into the sidewalk without a big hitch. Now they started with the width, the length, the pads. Now they're going into the thickness, the concrete, the PSI of the concrete. I mean, it's getting really in a situation that you almost need an engineer to start figuring out how to cooperate and fit all the requirements for these ramps. And it's difficult. Also, there's a requirement that every town, and I'm sure this town does have it because we addressed it, and I addressed it with the DPW and the road department. Every year, they have to do an analysis of their town, pick and choose certain aspects of the town where ramps are not accessible or there is no ramps, and to set forth a pattern and a schematic aspect to how they're going to approach it. The ADA requires the first things in steps, one being any accessibility to public buildings, libraries, stores, businesses, and so forth. Then they go into a secondary, side roads where is from getting one place to another, and then the obscure areas where there really isn't much to get around in, those would be the last areas. But at any time there is any kind of paving or redoing a street or any kind of repair work that is extensive enough to require curbing and sidewalking, and ramps will have to be put in.
Okay. My other question is pertaining to curbs. There are many areas where I've seen roadways repaved, and there are many other areas in town where the roads are paved, and I guess in relatively good shape, but the curbs are gone, either grown or, and nothing is I know that it's the responsibility of the homeowner, cost-wise, to do this. Okay, you were going to say something.
I'm going to correct that. It's not the responsibility of the homeowner is not the curb. Curb is a municipal responsibility.
Excuse me.
As far as I know.
I can, hold on a second.
Doing changing it?
I can honestly tell you past administrations have thrown it on the homeowners.
Okay.
But
stand corrected.
if I could tell you this, Mr. Freitag, I know this mayor and council have discussed this. We're looking into it. The situation where there is absolutely no curb, we have no choice but to put a curb there. So, no, again, as his question is, I mean, there has to be at least 40% of the curb for us not to have to replace the curb. But this mayor and council has taken it into consideration, and on this new paving, if there is no curb, that's less than 40%. We have to repair it, because I'm not saying replace it, but repair it, because if you put the new roadway to it, it's going to break up. Mm-hmm. So if we're going to spend the money that we're spending to do the job, let's do the job right, so that it's there for 10 years before we have to look at that road again.
Well, I saw down where Tooele Avenue and Hillman meet, which would be on the eastern part of those roads.
Right.
Where there was curbing and there's a fire hydrant there and they put in they painted the ground.
They painted.
Because there was no curb there in areas.
You're talking when they did the line painting?
Well, when they did the curb painting.
Oh, the curb painting.
Yeah, they just painted the dirt. And a lot of people, I'll see, they'll take the curb section that's been either kicked up by plowing or whatever, and they'll just set it there, and it's there in the grass or whatever. But there are a lot of areas that need
And
curbing.
I know this mayor and council has spoken about that on a number of occasions. So,
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else? If no one else wishes to be heard, I will close the public section.
so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you. Happy Easter, everybody.
May I have a motion to close the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
First by Dombrowski, second by Pellegrin. All in favor? Meeting is now concluded at 9:29.